So, hello, I'm Bénédicte Buchet, and my presentation will focus on a project we're having with a colleague, Marie-Dominique Vandam at IGN, and a colleague, Valérie Masson, at the French Meteorological Institute. And I'm also working at EuroSDR on Commission 4, and this is why in this presentation you will see there is a connection to EuroSDR 2. So, the context is the research and innovation for climate services, and I have made some quite of an introduction for those of you who don't know the topic, as I did not know it when I started this project. So, climate service, what are they? So we all know now that there is some change in climate at the global level, that is the energy the planet gets and the energy the planet Earth sends back. There is a disbalance, and this is what we call climate change. And this climate change has an impact on our daily lives, because there is a connection with microclimate dynamics. And another topic of interest is the adaptation strategy we developed to try to leverage this impact, and we need to study their efficiency. So we need to design climate service that would communicate this knowledge related to the dynamics and the efficiency of our strategy, to communicate it in a way that is at the same time scientifically sound, but also easily understood by all stakeholders. So, a basic concept when we talk about climate change is the notion of canopy model. Very basically, the idea is that there are something happens in the atmosphere, the temperature, the water content, and so on, and it will interact with the Earth's surface. Thanks to, and the canopy models will be a way to model this interaction, to model how there are some energy and water exchange between the Earth and the atmosphere, to model also the turbulence process. For instance, it has an impact on the pollution air quality because there are some turbulence process that happens, and then to yield climate data. For instance, the climate data could be where do we have some heat islands, urban heat islands or some pockets. And this model happens at the global scale, but also we have to downscale them at regional scale, at local scale, and so on. So, the most important requirements for people working on climate change is to have comparable climate data across the world. So maybe not on the whole world, but on representative spots of Earth, because it would be useful to study a phenomenon. And also across time. So they need to have millesimal data. For instance, in Earth surface data, on the global scale there are some world products, but then on the European scale they use Greenland cover, of course, and now Urban Atlas. So the climate community is designing to get the Earth surface plan. The idea is if they want to have comparable climate data, what they say is that we need to have comparable Earth surface data and comparable canopy models. So instead of somebody designing a specific local data adapted to Warsaw and specific local data, and somebody does the same thing, something else on Paris, they will try to develop comparable models so that they can compare their results better. So this community is designing reusable canopy modules that can be adapted to different places on Earth. And they also are designing some content specification, but also production process to ensure they have access to Earth surface data that are comparable across space and time. This looks a lot like what we are doing in Inspire. So here I will just show you an example of Earth surface data. So an example is the local Earth surface data for a local climate zone. So what is it, local climate zone? It's a proposal that has been made by Stewart and Hawke in a paper in 2012. And it's somehow a land use model to depict Earth surface data in a grid, 100 meters grid. And they say what indicators do you need to put in each grid cell, so that this Earth surface data can feed canopy modules to derive climate data. So just to show you what kind of information is interesting from them is especially the 3D data of the digital elevation models are very important, and also the vegetation. And besides designing this specification of what information do we need, they also, the community, the climate scientific community has also set up a platform, World Urban Database and Access Portal tools, to ensure that the community will be able to produce this data. Because the local climate zone do not exist everywhere, and they say if each one is starting producing the local climate zone on his own, maybe the data will be very heterogeneous and not comparable. So they say we will share common tools to do this. And the tools, they use Landsat data, they use Google Earth, and they use all these open, somehow easily accessible tools for scientists. So what has been done in Europe, several meteorological institutes set up an ERANET for R&D on climate service. So this is the whole landscape, and this ERANET, ERA for climate services, is the green component. And as you see in this green component, the meteorological institute said we will need to design a climate service that will reach out to more user communities, and an important aspect is to manage uncertainties. And the French National Mapping Agency was participating to this ERANET because we thought that in the future it was strategic that we can tell our ministry we are working on climate services. So within this ERANET, we participate to a project called Urban Climate Service Design, Urban URCLIM. And so we are the sole national mapping agency in France, and all other partners are meteorological institute, I put my number, and a research lab in GIS. So the question we want to address in this project, it's a 3-year project that started 1 year ago, is how cities interact with local mesoclimate flows to generate microclimates. Because with current model, every big cities in Europe look alike, and we know it's not true. We know that the big cities in Europe do not behave the same way, depending with the same atmospheric conditions, they don't react the same, and the microclimates are different. So we need to understand why is it so. And we also want to evaluate adaptation strategies that are set up by cities. So the ambition is summarized here. We want to prove a concept, integrated urban climate service. Here the integrated means we will have several canopy modules. Some participants will focus on the ice and the snow, the slippery sidewalks because of the high icing process. Other will focus on urban heat islands and so on and so forth. We will propose downstream methods and uncertainties assessment. We also design multi-criteria evaluation of adaptation strategies. And what we want to do is to have some reproducible enough method to propose this new URCLIM model, the urban climate model, across big cities in Europe. So these are the cities involved in the project, but what we hope is to have a solution that could be adapted to other cities too. And the project leader is very eager that we use open data to do so. So they say we want to use open urban data to produce a specific URCLIM urban map. And what IGN said is, maybe we can say that we use open urban data, but we also consider existing available data that can be reused, even if it's not open data now, because maybe it will become open data at the end of the project, or maybe the result of the project is to make recommendation on this data becoming open data. And also we have a specific work package on visualization, because the co-visualization of climate data with other data is a very important step for raising public awareness or for decision support. So just to show you the local canopy modules that are used in URCLIM, there are more of them, but just to show you that there are some canopy modules that describe the energy exchange in urban canyons, the energy exchange between buildings, the figure in the middle is a building, so how does it, the building materials will impact the energy exchange. You see it's a very high resolution model, and there are also some canopy modules showing how the icing condition for sidewalks. So now in the rest of my presentation, I will focus on what we are currently doing in this project to design a URCLIM urban map. I showed you before the local climate zone, and so somehow we try to do the same with a higher resolution. So to do this, the partners will adapt a result that has been produced on France. And what's very interesting is that the partners, so these are French partners who produce this result, what they did is they used data from the French National Statistical Institute. They used data from the French National Mapping Agency, so they used authoritative data that were free of charge for scientific use. And based on this data, they produce a specific urban climate model that could be used to study urban climate. So I just put it very briefly here, and there is also a paper. What's more important here, maybe, I would like to catch your attention on is, if we want to propose a method to yield similar data, but not only on France, on the whole Europe, how would you do? And I guess that what you would say is they need to use Inspire data, they need to use ELS and so on, and actually this is not what they did. The first approach they put in the project is to adapt this model to OpenStreetMap database, and then to design one pipeline, a W processing service, a chain of W processing services that will be put on the cloud. So the idea is that, based on this, you can get volunteers to produce the URCLIM urban map, because they have access to OpenStreetMap data, and they will have access to the process distributed on the cloud. So this is just a small illustration, and this approach is investigated by Erwan Baucher and his colleague from LabStick, who was working in the MapUse project and is also in the URCLIM project. And we think it's very interesting to see how we succeed to do so. And the second approach that is promoted by IGN in this project is to say, okay, maybe besides doing this pipeline, we can investigate another approach, that is we do not design one pipeline because anyway, it's an illusion to think that OpenStreetMap is the same comparable data over the whole Europe. So let's forget having one same process for the whole Europe, but maybe what is more important is to exchange our recipes. So what we do is that we adopt a brokering approach and we try to imitate what is done currently on the web with the TripAdvisor and all these collaborative platform, and to see that maybe if we set up a community platform, what people working on climate change say, here are the indicators I need, and people who know what are the data, what are the URL points, say, okay, you can use this URL, you can use this data, can answer their needs. Maybe we will support the production of urban climate data. So the URCLIM InfoLab can be seen as it's a wiki platform, and it's a wiki platform where some users can ask questions, can reuse the same data. For instance, some partner has proposed a way to derive a fine DEM data on Helsinki based on the National Non-Cerebral Cloud. And a user could say, I have similar data, how can I reuse the same libraries you did to do the same on the city I live in, and so on. So to ask a question, to publish a link to the data or software, and so on. So if you want to know more, there is a first written report of the project to describe this approach. And there is also a platform. The platform has been set up on the EuroSDR platform. So there is a EuroSDR wiki platform that can act as a host for InfoLabs, dedicated InfoLabs. And why did we do this on EuroSDR? Because we think it's interesting to share our learnings about user requirements. So if in this URCLIM project, IGN France is learning what climate change scientists are expecting from our data, we put it on EuroSDR platform and hope that our homologous other cartographic agency can learn from this. We also have in mind that maybe if colleagues from IGN France describe how to use their data to yield the result, maybe it's easier for colleagues from the different other countries to say, if you want to translate your recipe in my country, this is what you should do instead of having this French product. The similar product is this one in my country. So ultimately, we think that it's more a question of uncertainty management framework. So this is my conclusion. I hope I convinced you with a very short presentation that climate service is an important use case for Inspire data. I would like also to emphasize that the OpenStreetMap community, very often we have conflicting interests. Very often, because we have not the same competence or we are calling for the same resources and so on, but I would like to emphasize that we can also collaborate because we have different assets. So we can think of a collaboration. I want also to emphasize, as before me, that reproducibility across Europe is a key argument. And the question we had, for instance, is that OpenStreetMap is a product, so you have to put all the data in OpenStreetMap. We like much better the ELS approach because it's a mediation approach. We were even thinking, we had a question, could ELS mediate with a non-authoritative open data layer that will be available all across Europe? Could we have an OSM connector available from ELS? And also, reproducibility across time is a key issue. And I would like to finish with this, to say that maybe the future grand challenge we have ahead of us is to valorize our archives. We have a 2,000 years history. Not all the 2,000 years are documented in our archives, but we can get back maybe in the 16th century sometimes. And if we can find technologies to sample this history for comparable facts, maybe it will be great opportunity for our environment, but also for other domains like policy, immigration, and so on. So maybe it's the next grand challenge that will help Europe renew itself. So if this rings a bell to you, you can go on the website timemachine.eu.
So I think we find time for one more question.